All right, hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to get some things off my chest. I don't want to sound like I'm complaining, but I hope I can help anybody who is considering teaching English in Japan. And I just wanted to be very transparent, and I was just hoping if I could help anyone, that would be great. But so recently, well, just to start off with my background, I've been teaching English for about I'd say 4 or 5 years. I've been with 2 companies, and before this I used to live in China, and I taught there about 5 years, and I worked over there for 3 companies. So overall I've worked for about 5 companies and over like a 9-year span, and I'm looking to find another job with another company. So time's been going by real fast, and I don't realize that I have that much experience. I don't feel like I have that much experience, because you know, when you're teaching English, it's never like I mean, you get better at it, but it's not like like the schools train you properly so you get better and better. You're pretty much doing like the same things over and over. So even though I have 10 years of experience, I don't know, I don't feel like I do. I don't feel like I'm experienced. But I'll tell you what my current situation is right now. My company, let's go to this part. My company right now doesn't want to extend my contract. I've been there for about 2 years, and they don't want to extend my contract. And it's not that I'm doing a bad job or I'm not coming to work. I've called in sick maybe 3 times in the 2 years I've worked there. I believe it's just I don't think they think I'm a team player, and so basically they have they just make you do so many extra things. Like my company right now, from the beginning they kind of told me that I would have to do like open school days where like new people would come in and you have to kind of sign them up. And I thought that was okay, that was fine, and the person that hired me quit. But he told me that during the beginning that I would only need to do maybe like 2 or 4 Saturdays in the beginning of the year, and then once I got down to the contract part, they told me that I have to go to the meetings. And then the guy who quit told me that I don't necessarily have to go to the meetings, and that I can just use my paid holiday, which I think is fair, because you know, most places you get 10 paid holidays per year. So I mean, if I'm taking my own paid holidays, why not? And I've been to a few meetings, and they pretty much have the meetings just to have meetings. And I believe that's what they do in Japan. They just have meetings just to take a lot of your time. But most of the time you're like cleaning and you're not really learning anything. So so I did what he said I could do. And you know, my current manager, he has a problem with me not coming to the meetings, because you know, if I don't come to meetings, there's like a you know, I think other people think it's not fair, but I mean, I'm using my paid holidays, so I think that really bothers my manager. And one thing for sure is that last year when the coronavirus hit, I was a little bit scared, and I do have like an eye condition. It's like an autoimmune disease, but I was afraid that I don't know, I was just afraid because it was really unknown and people were dying. And since my girlfriend works from home, she can pay for some of the rent. That I just told them that. Oh, and also they had, during that time, our company has 3 schools, and I mostly work at one of the schools. And the one school, one is in Osaka and the other 2 is in Kyoto. So they closed down the school. So I got even more scared because they're like, why? I'm like, why are they closing down the whole school? So I just thought they didn't really need me. So I just told them that, you know, I'd like to take it off while the school is being closed. And plus, I'm the only teacher there that has to travel to Kyoto and Osaka, and most of my coworkers, they live in Kyoto, so it's not a big problem for them. And you know, there were more cases in Osaka than in Kyoto, so I was a little afraid. So I told them that, you know, I'm not gonna come in. And then after a month, after maybe like a couple weeks, I think, and then they extended the extension of not opening the school. So I asked them if I just, you know, if I couldn't come. So I didn't come for almost like a month and a half, and I don't think the owner liked that. And you know, the owner, I've heard, you know, during that time was walking around the office with no mask and was complaining like, oh, you know, why do foreigners worry so much about this virus? Because the other my coworkers were worrying about the virus as well. But the problem is that my other coworkers, they can't just not come to work because, you know, they have to pay for rent. I was the only one that was lucky enough that I have a girlfriend that has a job, and we both live together, and you know, she could pay for the rent, and it was okay. You know, I got by through that month. So I mean, I lost a lot of money, but at the same time, like I couldn't do anything. It's not like I was going out and going to the club and stuff. I was literally like at home being bored and doing nothing. So I think that really bothered the owner. So I think that's why. And right now the virus is still going on, and I think she's worried that well, the owner is a couple, a married couple, and so my school has a bunch of other schools, and it's a big corporation. I didn't know that, but trying to figure out where to go. Yeah, so the wife actually takes care of the English side, or the English schools, and they also have other like cram schools and stuff like that. So so they're not gonna extend my contract, and I'm not like, I'm kind of like independent. Like I'm not one of those type of people to like just be like yes and just listen to everything. You know, I'm kind of a person where, you know, if something's not right, I'm gonna speak up. I'm not gonna just, you know, be I don't want to say anything bad, but like I don't want to be screwed up the Yahoo, basically. So they don't like that kind of attitude. In Japan, they want like team attitude. Like you need to sacrifice, and that's a big problem. And it's not just my company, it's in a lot of companies. And basically if they have to work 6 days in a row, they don't think it's bad that you have to work 6 days, because their mentality is, since I'm doing it, you could do it too. But the problem is they get paid a lot more. Look at this, they have like the speaker. I think they're selling something like meat, or they said Corona. So basically they have, each city has like so each city has like a card that goes around telling people to stay inside, and they tell people to not go outside unless it's like, you know, you go to work or something like that. But people are just going out, and it seems like there's not much of a problem. People, you know, wear masks and stuff. But anyways, going back to that, yeah, so they expect you to do a lot more than you should. And the thing is, so like my managers, they expect you to do so much more, but they or to sacrifice and just to do as they do. But the thing is, they get paid more than us. Not that much. Well, I don't know how much they get paid, but you know, they get paid more than us. I know that. So they want to expect us to be in the same level as them, but then, you know, they're not going to pay us more money. So what I get paid right now is about 270,000 yen for a month. And you know, with insurance and all that, they they deduct like about 50,000. So in the end, it comes out to like 230,000. Oh, it's a dead end. It comes out to like 230,000 a month. Oh, she got caught too in the dead end. So it comes out to like 230,000. So it's like $2,300 a month. That's what I make. And there's no increase. There's no bonuses. And most companies, you get like an increase and bonus. But the thing is, they don't ask much. They don't ask you to do much. But here's the problem. My school right now is opening up another school that adds more work, and you have to come on Saturdays. And I'm the only teacher that's not doing it, because I like, what's the point of, the only reason I picked this job is so I don't have to work on Saturdays. I want to have my weekends. So I'm the only one that doesn't want to work. That's another thing too. I think that's another reason why they're not going to extend my contract, because I don't want to work at this new school where I have to work Saturdays. But the problem in the beginning was, they've kind of borrowed, they paid this Korean company to do this technology. It's like VR. So the kids come in and they can do like VR, and they can learn through the VR glasses, which is kind of stupid. But originally they send off like teachers to go to Korea, and I don't want to go to Korea to go to school. Like, I want to go to Korea to travel, but I just didn't want to go all the way to Korea, just learn this whatever this was, and then just come back and then work on Saturdays. So I just told them that I didn't want to do it, and I think that's like the third thing that made them that just didn't want to extend my contract. So this company in itself, a lot of people leave, and a lot of people are very unhappy, and I'm not gonna just say it's I don't want to admit that it's just like my fault, but the problem is a lot of the other teachers, they're leaving and they're not happy. But the thing is, they can just hire more people, and even with like the managers. So there's 3 managers for each different school, and the manager I'm talking about is like the general manager, the one that's not extending my contract. But the smaller managers at each school, they all are quitting, or they all left because they pushed them too hard and they worked them too hard, and they don't pay them enough. So what they did was they hired university students. They're all university students. They're like 21, 22, 23. And in this way, right now, it's really hard to get a job as a Japanese person. Oh, I've been to this dead end before. It's really hard to get a job as a Japanese person because of the virus. And the thing is, it's hard to get interviews, and it's just a hard time for a lot of these students that are leaving university. So I mean, they handpicked these 3 girls, and basically they're lucky to even have a job. And the thing is that they can tell them to do whatever they want them to do. Plus the thing in Japan is, if you have a job, it's not good to like go through so many different it's not good to I go to a quiet street. It's not good to have like many different jobs. Like in America, it's kind of good to like work at a company for 2 years and then get another job and then work at another company for 2 years. But in Japan, it's not good to switch jobs. They think that's it's a bad thing. So if that's on your resume, they're like, oh, why did you leave this company and all that. So most people that get their job like right out of college will just stay there for like 50, 60 years, and so these girls they hired these girls, and they can pretty much tell them what to do, and they think that they're not going to leave. But the problem is, already they've been so overstressed that 2 of the managers, actually all 3 managers want to quit actually, and one of the main manager is going to quit. And so and that's the thing, like they don't treat people like people. They treat people like just like workers. And the thing is, it comes from all the way to the top. So so my general manager, he probably gets treated like that as well, because he looks overstressed and he looks tired all the time, and he has a lot of jobs. And that's another thing. What they do is, they more and more, because of these companies are not doing so well, money wise, they are stripping the jobs of 2 people and then making 1 person do all of the jobs so they can save more money. But that also increases the stress for each person. So right now my general manager, he does a lot of things, and I can understand that, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if that's happening to you, why would you want to do that to another person? But I guess for him, it's a lot less troublesome. It's a lot less troublesome to even think about that. To like, oh, hey, how about I just try to give this person less work, but how? Because there's no support. So it's kind of like if someone's like punching you, and then you know it's wrong, but then you punch another person. It's basically like that. So they don't treat people like workers. And so right now I'm looking for a job, and that's just my situation. So if you're looking for a job in Japan, there's a couple types of schools. One is an ALT, and I've said this before too, and I think there's a program called the JEP program, and they pay really well. Actually, they pay up to like $3,000 a month, but the problem is you have to apply for their I don't know what you would call it. You just have to apply to them, and sometimes the problem is they'll just send you out anywhere. Maybe they'll send you out into the countryside. You know, it's like you don't get a choice, but you get paid $3,000. And the thing is, after your contract runs up and maybe you have a 3-year contract, that's it. Then you have to just, you have to do your own thing. You have to find your own job. So I know a lot of people that really like the JEP program. They give you housing. They even help you if you want to learn Japanese and stuff like that. But they pay the most. But most ALT teachers, they're not going to pay a lot. ALT teachers get about, at most, 250. I would say that would be the max. And then the lowest is like 200. But the thing is, they'll I think they have like increase in raises. But what an ALT teacher does is basically you go to like elementary school. You might go to several elementary schools, and you go in there and you kind of just sit around for a while, for a long time, and then you work with a Japanese staff, and you pretty much have like a couple of classes a day, and then you're kind of like the in-person teacher. Like the Japanese teacher does most of the work, and then you do your work. Well, like you work together, but she's the main teacher. And different schools have different things, and it depends on all of the situations. But sometimes the Japanese teacher will make you do everything, and so you just have to do everything. There's probably no training and stuff like that. So and then there's the Ikaiwa. It's basically like an after-school program where you do have to work Saturdays. So you have to work pretty much after school hours, so like anywhere from 12 to 8, and sometimes they'll make you work like 9 hours, and then on Saturdays you'll work from the early morning to the afternoon. So that one is also, that kind of also sucks too. And a lot of those companies, they're pretty much terrible. And if you want to work for any of like the major companies, they're all terrible, because they can do that because they know people want to, nowadays too, they want people to work in, nowadays a lot of people want to work in Japan, so they'll do anything just to get here. And a lot of these major corporations, they're really terrible. You might get like a few good ones, but most of them suck. So the best thing to do is if you can get like, if you're like there might be a lot of wind, but if you're a veteran and if you've been here a couple of years, the best thing to do is get a like part-time job or get a bunch of part-time work, because part-time work, you just go teach and go home. But the problem with these full-time jobs are that you're pretty much going to sit around for a long time. You might sit for like a couple hours. So it's best to get a lot of part-time jobs. But the problem is the visa. So right when you get here, you probably want to just work for a company for about 2 years and then just kind of enjoy it, because if you're going to come to Japan, and you move here, everything's gonna be new, everything's gonna be great, everything's gonna be perfect, and you're gonna be excited. So the first 2 years is probably gonna be the best. And then that's probably why a lot of people leave. I mean, after the 2-3 years, then it starts getting to go downhill. Or a lot of times people just get married, and I wouldn't say people are stuck, but some I've met some people that that get married, and I've heard some stories where people do feel like they're kind of stuck because they're married, they can't go back home, they can't leave their Japanese family here, and they have no other skills but teaching English. So it's kind of sad, but that's the reality. But yeah, so and those are pretty much two different types of jobs as an English teacher, and or three, because you do the part-time work. But or you can work at, like, oh yeah, that's another thing, or you can work at international school. So in Japan, there's not many elementary international schools, but there are a lot of international kindergartens. And the thing is, with the international kindergartens, the parents, what they do is they send them to the kindergarten at the international school, and then for elementary school they'll probably go to like a private Japanese school. Most kids don't go to international school like throughout the whole course of their life, because it's expensive. So unless you're rich, and a lot of these parents, they don't really necessarily see English as a must, especially in Japan, because they might not need to use it. So it's more like a hobby. But when I used to teach in Japan, I mean in China, English was really important to the Chinese. And the thing is, in China, there's a lot of jobs for teaching English, because there's so many people, and learning English is kind of important over there. But here is not so much important. So I'm gonna go this way. So yeah, so I'll tell you what I did during my my first job, my kindergarten. I was an international teacher at a kindergarten, and they paid pretty well, and I got paid, like, I started off with $255, and then it went up in 10,000 increments. So I worked there for 3 years, and they give you $2,000 bonus every year. So you know, over the course of a year, there's a lot of money. But well, not a lot of money, but more than what I make now. But the problem is, they really overwork you there. You got to do a lot of stuff there, and most of the time you're just kind of going to the toilet. I mean, not you, but the kids. So like every like 30 minutes, you're pretty much just taking kids to the toilet. That's what the job consists of. And then just like, there's just so many things, like, and you're kind of expected to work through lunch, and that was kind of like a common thing at that school. But I've heard at other schools for that franchise, it's different for every school. But for me, this road's too bumpy. But for me, at my school, they expect you to work through lunch, and so you work 9 hours, and then you're pretty much working through your lunch. And then during the Christmas time is when it's hectic, because they have like Christmas concerts, and I had to make the song, I had to make the dance, and it was really difficult. Teaching itself is really fun to do. I like teaching, but it's just the whole politics around it, and most of these places are huge businesses, and I understand that, but still, they need to treat people, you know, like normal people, like workers. But I mean, like normal human beings. But yeah, so I just got kind of tired of it. I was just so tired all the time, you know. I was so tired, I couldn't do anything most of the time, so I quit that job. So I came to this job, and what I do at this job is I pretty much work from 12 to 7:30. We used to work till 8, but me and my other coworker, we complained, not complained, but we asked if we can go like 5 minutes earlier, because the train comes in like 20-minute increments where we were, and we were kind of far. So we asked if we can leave 5 minutes earlier. So they just said, why don't we just cut the hours to 7:30? So then now I work 12 to 7:30, and what I do is I come into work at 12, and you're supposed to prepare for your class, but the classes are so easy. Like I can I don't even need to even prepare for them because I've been teaching for a long time too. Like I can just pretty much just teach it just like with no plan. Basically, that's easy. So yeah, so pretty much from 12 to 3 o'clock, from 12 to 2, I don't really do anything actually. I try to study Japanese, and I'm pretty much just sitting around. And then from oh yeah, you know what, I wanted to check out if there's something over here. And then from 2 o'clock I take a lunch, an hour break. So from 2 to 3 I'll take a break, and then the kids start coming around at 4, and then you kind of just play with them for a little bit, and then you do I have only one class, plus you do like this activity where it's like a PowerPoint presentation, which is really easy. You just kind of read off the PowerPoint, and then it's either like craft or stuff like that. Easy stuff. But the problem is they make you come on Saturdays and Sundays a lot of times. Like even this month they wanted me to come. You pretty much have to sacrifice 2 weekends of your time every month. Either it's like a meeting, or you have to do an event, like some kind of like holiday event, and so that really takes a lot of toll, because like, I mean, you know, sometimes you'll have 2 Saturdays back to back, or Saturday or Sunday, and you're pretty much working like 6 days. You're working like 6 days in a row, or you only have 1 day off. And I just don't see why they have to, like, you know, really push for that. And this year they're adding more days, so they know that I don't like doing those things. So I think that's another thing that they don't want to extend my contract. And it's like you know, if you're like me, you look forward to your weekends, and then it's like Friday and you're like, yeah, I get 2 days off. But then if you don't have 2 days off, you're like, you know, it kind of sucks. You know what I mean? Damn, what is this? It's nice, got Brembo brakes. It's nice, an old man driving it. So it's yeah, I think like if you're new and you want to come to Japan, I think working at any of the schools is fine for the first year or two, but you'll slowly start learning that it's not as what you thought it would be after a while. The teaching itself is awesome. I love teaching kids. I love kids, and they're a lot fun to work with, but just companies trying to like overwork you, it gets really tiring. So now I'm looking for a job. I'm thinking about, I'm even considering, because I got a 5-year visa, I'm even considering working like part-time for a school. So like maybe like there's a part-time kindergarten, and I can work there in the mornings. And then the problem is those part-time work, they pay a little less. But the thing is, you're not going to be sitting around for like 2 hours a day doing nothing. You're going to just go to work and come out. And so my visa doesn't expire for another 2 years. So I'm going to try to find a job that I think will be good. And I don't know, it's kind of it's kind of like bittersweet, because I was kind of unhappy at my job, and the problem is it's hard to find something really good. If you find something really good, that means those jobs are going to be already filled. So I'm not saying they're all going to suck, but you just got to find the right one, or just work for yourself and work part-time. Like one of my friends, he's married to a Japanese girl, so he has a visa, so he works part-time. So for him, he works on his time. He doesn't have to sit around anywhere. And that's perfect for him. And a lot of people do that actually. They come here and they get married, and then they work part-time. And right now I've been here for 5 years, so I'm thinking if I can just get a permanent visa, permanent residency, which is kind of hard to do. I can get that in like 5 years. You can get a permanent residency after 10 years of living here. So I'm thinking about seeing if I can get that, and then I can work part-time, or I can just work part-time now and then just worry about the visa later. My visa doesn't run up for another 2 years. So yeah, so if you're like a new person trying to come to Japan, I say do it, but I'm just trying to prepare you for what the reality really is. And a lot of people enjoy working at these places, and I'm not trying to complain about not working hard, but I think it sucks when, you know, you're working hard but you're not getting paid what you're supposed to be getting paid. And then also too, like, getting overworked. And I think a lot of the Japanese culture is, you know, you kind of like give up, you're sacrificing yourself to work for a company, and I think they expect a lot of the foreigners to do the same thing. But I don't think they understand, and they don't have the empathy to see, like, oh, wait a minute, foreigners don't think like that. You know, foreigners think like, you know, we need to enjoy life a little bit, you know. And my general manager who like thinks that you know, I should be doing this and that, you know, he doesn't understand that, like, we like to enjoy a little bit of our life. I'm sure, because he has a kid, and I know his wife maybe works part-time as well, so or maybe doesn't work. So, you know, he's the breadwinner, so he has to work all week, and he works a lot of hours, you know, probably more than 9 hours a day, probably 10 hours a day. Then on the weekends he has to take care of his kids, and like all the, I'm sure he never gets a break to enjoy his life, you know. And that's probably why in a lot of these companies, you know, in Japan too, there's a lot of like suicide rates and all this stuff, because they feel like they're stuck, they're not getting paid a lot, and then they have to work like 12 or 13 hours. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of other reasons why there's a high rate of suicide, but I think that kind of contributes to it. And I'm sure there's a lot of things that contribute together, but yeah, I mean, like, they don't understand that we come to Japan to enjoy, you know. I mean, I don't mind working hard, but it's like, you know, can we work hard and enjoy life at the same time? So when I worked at the kindergarten, that was owned, see, this one's supposed to be open, but in 2021, so maybe by the end of this year. So yeah, like my first company, it was owned by a foreigner, so he kind of understood like that we need to be paid our worth. So that's why in that company I did get paid not bad, paid more than usual companies, but they understand that, you know, we're human beings, so they paid pretty well, but they also overworked us a lot too. And that company was going kind of down under, and they're making a lot, like one person do so many jobs. And that's what I've heard from the other teachers that have been there. They were saying that they a long time ago didn't have to do all these things, but now they have to do more and more things because, you know, the money was tight, and they had to let go of some people, and I don't know, they just have to do more things. So yeah, I think people should be prepared if they're trying to come to Japan and work here. And I'm trying to think if I missed anything. Mountains are really nice. Yeah, so right now I'm just taking my time, and I might have to collect unemployment if I can't find something good, but I want to find something really nice so I can feel good about going to work. Teaching itself it's fun. If you like children, it's a really good job. It's a really easy job. It's a nice thing. It's very rewarding. Some people come here, they don't like kids, they don't like teaching, so they often leave. So my schools usually have a high turnaround rate for teachers, not just in Japan but also in China as well. And I've seen a lot of people come and go, a lot. I've seen a lot of people come in and then leave, and it's, you know, it's that kind of job. But I don't know, this is just my rant today. I just been feeling like I don't know, I felt like I should like kind of let it out. And I think sometimes these videos really help because I can kind of talk about the situation, and I don't know if I think it helps me personally. But yeah, if you have any comments or questions about teaching English, please let me know. But you know, I just wanted to state that, you know, teaching English isn't like it's not like really a perfect job, you know. It's a very easy job, but you know, especially working in Japan, they really want you to be like a Japanese worker. And I hope I don't come off as sounding like I'm complaining, but yeah, I just want to hope I can warn people of the reality of what it truly is. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video. I don't even know if I'm gonna put this video up. I'm gonna think about it. I know that a lot of people don't watch these bicycle vlogs, but I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to come off as something that I don't want to come off as. I don't know. I don't want to sound like something that I don't want to sound. I don't know how to say it, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and look out for more videos, and goodbye.